everybody, it's Julie, and I'm making a quick plug for the notebook this week. It's all about women's golf because we have some impressive displays across the age spectrum. So there are 3 stories that you need to know about for up-and-coming women, women who have already proven themselves, and women who are back. So we're starting with Laura Tennant, who's the women's British amateur champion 3 weeks after defending her title at the US Senior Women's Amateur. Then we're moving to Ina Kim Shane, who won the US Women's Mid-Amateur after taking about a 10-11 year break from competition from when she was a top junior golfer, coming in runner-up at the 2000 US Girls Junior. And finally, the future of women's golf, Rachel Kuhn, who won the Annika Intercollegiate in her debut as a Wake Forest freshman, has a pretty cool tie to her mom now, a former Wake Forest women's golfer, that you'll have to check out in the notebook to find out about. Also information about the US Mid-Amateur, which happened last week also, some tournaments to watch for this week, and an early look at who might be on that GB&I Curtis Cup squad that's going to be assembled later this spring, 2020, going to Wales. So make sure you check all that out and you're up to date in what's going on in the golf world this week.
We're just wrapping up a game at Goat Hill today, and today I was trying out the Jaws MD5 wedge from Callaway. I only put one in the bag because it was a competitive round and it's brand new and I hadn't even had a chance to practice. I tried something with a graphite shaft, the True Temper Catalyst 80. Never played a graphite shaft in any of my irons. I found amazing feel from about 100 yards with this 56-degree wedge. I do have to tell you, I spun it back almost off the green. I mean, it's brand new. Roger Cleveland with his Groove and Groove technology, there is spin on these wedges, and there's a little sticker on it that says the groove, micro grooves on the kind of the face will wear down, but they won't lose spin, and I believe it. Beautiful looking golf club, which is why I'm cleaning it off right now. Found a little secret of San Diego in the golf business here that probably not a lot of people know about, and a gentleman, Gene Parenti, in the Golf Labs, and you invented a golf robot.
I did.
And here we are at a driving range that looks abandoned.
Pretty much.
What's your story?
It's an odd one, but it's an entertaining one. I started Golf Laboratories 30 years ago. I actually started it with the robot that I bought from Titleist for $100 that was powered by a garage door spring. Biggest death trap you've ever seen in your life. It would pull back, spin, and then spin around like a flywheel. If you ever saw the Olimar Tri-Metal infomercials, a robot was featured on there.
I remember.
Started when I was about 24 years of age, right out of college, completely green to everything. Thought I knew everything, didn't know much. But was very fortunate. The Cold War was ending right about that time, and golf was starting to take off. And a lot of these major companies were looking to find new channels for their technology, like carbon, titanium, all of these different materials. Golf at the time was still relatively static as far as technology, and so you saw this explosion of technology. And what's interesting about it is at the time you had kind of a procedure from an R&D standpoint that a golf club would be handed to a better player, usually within the organization. They would hit it. If they liked it, they'd give it to their tour player, and that was kind of the R&D. To give you a little background, the companies that had robots were Wilson, McGregor, Spalding,
True Temper,
and True Temper sold
Iron
them.
Byron.
Yes, yeah, they were the Iron Byron was the main robot. The only company that's still around actively well, other than True Temper, which got absorbed, is Titleist. But there was a need for testing. Callaway, when I started, was about a $2.5 million a year company. Cobra was bigger at about $5 million. And I had some connections into both, started testing, and then away I went.
How about this? Yesterday, a robot taking a swipe at this, David, and what else would you expect here at the Waste Management Phoenix Open?
Really, that robot is called Eldrick.
How's this?
And both Eldricks have done that at 16.
How about that? Only here could that happen.
I am just happy to see what you've got going on here, and you do a number of different things. You're testing for the golf industry, but you've also got some services that you offer to tournaments and individual golfers. So maybe we can start with what you do for the business.
Sure. So, as I was saying, started 30 years ago, started with a spring-generated robot. About 25 years ago, I decided, I'd heard criticisms, both good and bad, about my machine. The only other machine at the time that was out there was the Iron Byron. And so, foolishly, naively, optimistically, I decided to build my own robot. Now, if with a little bit of wisdom, there's no way I would have done that, but sometimes ignorance is bliss. It allows you to go down paths that a sane person wouldn't go. But what you see behind me is about the 8th generation of that robot. We have sold over 50 robots to the golf industry. They're used by every major manufacturer, the USGA, the RNA, foundries in Asia, ball manufacturers in Asia and Europe. It's become the testing standard. So we are very fortunate in that our machine is used by all the major manufacturers, and my main core business is testing on a daily basis. Right now, as you can see, we're doing a hybrid test, running some Callaway hybrids for a customer at 90 miles an hour, simulating a typical player. And what we're doing is hitting the ball in the center, the toe, and the heel of the golf club, high and low, to get a complete overall performance picture. And we'll do a comparative analysis between the two. So what we have with this machine and the multiple launch monitors that you see is the ability to duplicate any golf swing. And when I say any golf swing, from the #1 player in the world to a beginning
Charles
amateur.
Barkley?
I can duplicate Charles Barkley's swing. The one that was always asked is Jim Furyk's swing. And my answer is, I can't duplicate his backswing, but I can duplicate his downswing, because all of our downswings are linear. We may do this in our backswing, but we go from one point to another, because you can't swing I guess you could, but you'd completely miss the golf ball. Everything in golf is linear from the downswing to impact, and that's what we look at capturing with the robot. And with our launch monitors, I can take your swing, I can find out what your tendencies are, I can then put the club in the machine and tell you, #1, is your equipment optimized for your swing? And #2, where is your swing on a potential level? So for example, if you swing outside in 7 degrees and slice the ball, going inside out 7 degrees, everything else staying the same. Tee table position, impact, same club head speed, 31 yards more distance you can gain out of the golf ball.
And that's not with any physical training?
Nothing. That's not
else.
Getting a bit stronger,
Right.
No yoga, no steroids, just changing a move.
And really, the golf industry has a lot of products, but this is with your same driver, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we look at here, the beauty of this robot and the beauty of our setup is we're able to quantify everything that's talked about in the business, because from my perspective, everything is angled.
So you offer a service that somebody could come here in the San Diego area, or that's in town visiting, but you go to country clubs with a robot that's remote. I don't know how you ship something like this, but it breaks down, obviously, right?
Well, so we have a robot, kind of our hit list. I don't know if you saw 4 years ago, we did a commercial for a European tour called Rory versus the Robot, in which we did a skills challenge against Rory McIlroy. 3 years ago, we got a hole-in-one at the Phoenix Waste Management Open at 16 in front of the Bird's Nest, in front of 22,000 people. This was the machine.
How many hits for that?
5.
That is amazing.
We got it on our 5th hit. We had 5 hits. This summer, We did a skills challenge against Steph Curry for a reality show called Holy Moly, which is a miniature golf show, and contestants had the opportunity to either have Steph hit a shot or the robot hit a shot, and Rob Riggle was the voice of the robot. The machine you see behind me in those spots is powered by lithium batteries. It is remote controlled, it has wheels, and we can drive it on a golf course and hit any number of shots. We also use it for charity golf events or corporate outings where we set it up on a hole, say a par 3, and the groups coming through can either play against the robot or have the robot hit their shot for them.
That's fabulous. We have an amateurgolf.com tour. We need to talk. So let's get a little closer to this
Sure,
thing.
absolutely.